just got back from Gallifrey One, which took place February 15th through 17th at the LAX Marriott. It's probably one of my favorite conventions, and it was the first year I attended. It just won me over immediately. Now, first off, it's a Doctor Who convention, which is why I'm dressed like the Doctor. I'm a big fan of Doctor Who, and now it's not an AnimeCon, but I really wanted to talk about it, so I'm putting it in the podcast. You can't stop me. There were 3,200 people there. It sold out 3 months ahead of time, which speaks to the popularity of Doctor Who in the US. And even the British guests who came were remarking on how popular the show is over here, and they can't believe it. They were saying, wow, this huge hall is filled, it's amazing. Some of the guests they had the seventh Doctor, Sylvester McCoy. There was Freema Agyeman, you may know as Martha Jones. Mark Sheppard, who was Canton from the Impossible Astronaut. And Daphne Ashbrook, the eighth Doctor's companion, and so many more. There are like 50 guests. Inspector Spacetime was there. Most of them had a connection to Doctor Who. There's a few others, but everybody was a great guest and loved being there, and the fans loved seeing everybody. Now the convention, I can best describe it as like a little Dragon Con. Now, if you've been to Dragon Con, you know it's crazy and there's lots of stuff going on, but it's a lot of fun. This is the same sort of thing, but it's focused on one show. It takes place in one hotel and only has 3,200 people. So you lose the huge, massive crowds and all the football players that come in for Dragon Con because of the college football games, butting heads. It has that LobbyCon feel. They even call it LobbyCon, where people just hang out in the lobby after the con programming starts to wind down and, have a drink, talk to people, socialize, have fun. It's a great time. They even set up bars in the hall. So if you want to go out to the bar, get a drink, then go into karaoke, more than welcome to do so. I did that. It was great. The people are so friendly. Now, I talked this past summer about how friendly Anime Iowa is, and that's true. But I couldn't believe this. In LA, there's this con, because everybody has this one similar interest. Everybody's cosplaying from one show, well, except for Captain Mal and a Star Trek character, and there was one other non-Doctor Who cosplay I saw. Everybody else, there was a Jedi. Yeah, everybody else, Doctor Who. There were tons of Amy Pons, Rivers, Rose, everybody. It was great. And now one thing that seems to be a Gallifrey tradition that I was not ready for was ribbons. Everybody seems to bring their own little ribbons, and they give them out where you can hand them to friends, make new friends, and everybody collects them. And so you just attach them to your badge, and they keep going and going. And I only ended up with 22. There were a lot of people that had them draped around themselves. Somebody made a dress out of them. There were so many, like hundreds. And no duplicates. They were all unique. So it was amazing. Some of these, oh my God, they killed Rory, you bastards. Or Texas, heart, Doctor Who. Time is not the boss of you. Just flirting to keep you cheerful. Whatever you do, don't blink. A lot of Daleks do not accept apologies. There's some really funny ones that were out there. And jet lagged at LobbyCon. Got that one the first night. Also, as you walk around, you'll see some amazing cosplay that you just wouldn't see anywhere else. There were so many Daleks. You might go to a con and see one Dalek or one TARDIS, two TARDISes or two TARDI, I guess. I don't know how many Daleks. Some canine cosplay of people actually dressed like canine, and some actual canines. There was even a tiki Dalek, which I thought was really creative. And again, it fits in with the costumes, which were stupendous. There were even some Daleks that had, that's a spoiler, so I will not mention that. Now, the convention itself, there was of course a dealer's room, And there were autographs and photo opportunities with the guests. All of these, though, I want to point out, not like an AnimeCon. For these, you actually would pay for the autograph of the guests, or you can pay for a photo with the guest with your arm around them. There were panels, big and small ones, with the different guests. There was a video room, so you could watch some old Doctor Who, some new Doctor Who. An art show. There was a masquerade, which was amazing and hilarious. Some really good entries. There was karaoke, which I had mentioned earlier, going on at night. And even some of the guests were participating in the karaoke. And when you see them getting up there to sing Spice Girls, hilarious. And I even took part in that when somebody said, oh, we need some 10th Doctors to sing along to 500 Miles, which there's this David Tennant video where he does 500 Miles with the Proclaimers. And there's a clip of it right there. And so we recreated that, singing our own version, which I'll stick at the end. And otters, I mentioned 2 Tardai, and they even had the actual console from the 8th Doctor's TARDIS. This was the octagonal or hexagon console that in the TV movie both the 7th and 8th Doctors used. It's got the time rotors and all the switches and everything. You can walk up to it and take all the pictures you want. You could even pose with it and get a professional picture for $10, or for $25 you could pose with Daphne Ashbrook, the actual 8th Doctor's companion. And so Gallifrey One is hugely popular, especially since Doctor Who itself has taken off. I mean, this convention's been around 24 years, and next year will be their 25th year, and they're really excited about that. And so is everybody else, because it's going to sell out. It's going to sell out fast. Registration for it opened on March 3rd. I'm actually recording this before March 3rd. It may have sold out already, so check the Gallifrey One website, and if it's sold out, sorry. Maybe, hopefully I'm registered so I can report on this again next year, because it was so much fun. I can't wait to go back. And just so you guys know, I'm going to be trying to convince all of you to go with me. Oh my god, it was amazing.
Can I bring my TARDIS?
You may not want to bring the TARDIS. It's kind of big. But your Jack, with my hand in a jar. Which, by the way, this hand in a jar went over really well. I'm really proud of this. It's not done, but people loved it. So it made me stand out as a 10th, because there were a lot of 10th Doctors. But anyway, so that's Gallifrey One. And my first Doctor Who convention. My 115th convention overall, and certainly not my last. Now, if you were Gallifrey One, give me a call. Call us up at 762-ADEQUATE or 762-233-7828. Let me know what you thought of the convention. We'll play that in our next feedback episode. Or, if you're at some other convention, if you want to convince me to check out Chicago TARDIS or some other Doctor Who convention, Timegate or something, plead your case. Let's hear from you. You can also send us email at podcast@animecons.tv. We've got our forums at forums.animecons.com. Or, this is Doctor Who, so you can use fancons.com, forums.fancons.com, and check out the list of websites, including Doctor Who conventions, for all the conventions at fancons.com. Or if you just want AnimeCons, that's what animecons.com is for. And we'd love to hear from you. Also, follow us on Twitter, AnimeCons TV, or Facebook at facebook.com/AnimeCons podcast. And subscribe on iTunes at itunes.animecons.tv. And I know there's some podcasters out there that I talked to that were at the Doctor Who convention. And I can't wait to check those out once those are posted too. So if I find them, I'll have a link. If there's no link, I haven't found it yet. So call us up. Tell me where it is. And so we'll see you guys next week with another episode. But until then, here's 500 Miles.
When I wake up, what I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes along with you. know I'm gonna be a man who gets no text to you. If I ever